Conversations about mental health on college campuses are crucial because there's so much pressure both from our peers, from our families, from faculty, and even from ourselves to just rise to the occasion and achieve as much as we can during those 2 to 4 years while we're there.
I think conversations about mental health on campus are so important because they help in the stigma associated with them. I think a lot of times as students we see mental health as something talked about at an administrative level, but when we can, as students, engage others in that conversation, we can take the first steps in helping people seek help or get support in ways that they might not expect it.
Because it's not something that you can really see. I mean, if you're sick, right, if you're physically sick, obviously you have to take care of yourself in that moment, but mental health isn't necessarily something that you could conceive.
I think conversations are really important because it kind of opens up a door and it lets down a barrier for people that feel uncomfortable talking about mental health. So they could look at someone that opened up about their own story and say, oh, okay, like it's okay to talk about my story and I can relate to someone on campus.
We shouldn't be afraid to talk about how we're feeling to our peers. And although there's such a stigma, by talking to each other, it erases that stigma, and we should be able to feel comfortable every day to talk about our personal struggles to each other and normalize the conversation.
Definitely cultural backgrounds come into play when you want to talk about mental health with different friends. I know myself, I'm Latino, so we don't talk about mental health, and most of my friends are Latinos as well. And a way that we can overcome that is talking about mental health in our own communities, just to break that stigma and finally bring in those conversations.
I think so much of life is going through the world and wondering, am I alone? Am I different? Am I weird? And the more that we as individuals take a risk, be vulnerable, share our own story, the more it creates space for others to share theirs and help you realize that we are all much more similar than we are different.